The Elder Scrolls IV Oblivion, the game that certainly defined my young adult life, which I forever will be grateful for. As an Elder Scrolls game though, it remains contested. Is it a masterpiece with hilarious Radiant AI shenanigans?
Hi!
Or is it a major setback from Morrowind's more open-ended traditional RPG format? No matter your thoughts, it is undeniable that Oblivion represented a massive update in visuals, which for the purposes of this video, allowed for the creation of some of the most beautiful, photorealistic cities gaming had ever seen. And so in this video, we're ranking every city in Oblivion from worst to best, taking into account city size, shape, how you use it, people, and so on. And if that sounds good to you, then consider leaving a like on the video. It greatly helps me out and makes all this hard work just a little bit more fun. And if you want even more rankings of Oblivion or other games entirely, make sure to check out the channel of my good friend Rogue Ranks, who makes awesome in-depth rankings of everything from Skyrim weapons to Baldur's Gate 3 party members. At number 9 and the worst city in all of Oblivion, there really can't be anything other than the one and only Kvatch, city of Akatosh. And I say one and only because it's the only city that isn't a city, not really. Kvatch never gets the chance to be a place for commerce, trade, guild infighting, or divines worshipping because Kvatch is destroyed the second you get there. The massive Oblivion Gate looks ominous of course, but it's not truly a part of the city, because to get deeper into it, you first need to venture into Oblivion, meet a smiling chap fighting for his life,
I'm getting out of here.
Lots of Darth Mauls, and destroy the thing from the inside. Only then can you grab your merry men and take the fight to the city. Kvatch itself is a ruin essentially, more or less completely destroyed by the Daedra attack, which is also why we're here, because of Martin Septim, the Emperor's son. In this way, Kvatch becomes a city that's crucial to the early hours of the story. And sure enough, what remains of the city looks fairly interesting, including the chapel itself and the square on the other side of it, complete with a large fortress in the city's interior. However, Kvatch isn't much more than this, and sadly the story just kind of leaves it as it is. It's tragic because the city could have been so much more. I would have wanted a reconstruction process, for example, to truly see what the city could be like, instead of just leaving it in ruin. There's even signs of an arena here, and the castle gates are pretty cool I guess, with the interior of the castle in its prime looking fairly unique as well. And because it is a ruin, it's also left with dungeon-like music, which doesn't exactly make for a pleasant atmosphere. And so, because of its grey, ruinous aesthetic, Kvatch lands at spot number 9 as the worst city in all of Cyrodiil. Number 8, despite being very much intact, is not that much better for it. And I am of course talking about Bravil. Bravil is a city in the south of Cyrodiil, although not the southernmost city. It does admittedly have a nice seafront location, with its walls overlooking the Great River and a peculiar island as well. But the citizens get none of that waterfront view of course, since when entering this wooden hellhole, you're only greeted with meager, brown-grayish buildings and not much else.
I'm only asking for enough to feed me kids.
Hey, you're the one they call the hero of Kvatch, aren't you?
It is a sorry sight for anyone who likes to enjoy life really, as Bravil feels almost laughably devoid of color. It is admittedly cool that a bridge connects to part of the city. I am a fan of bridges after all, but it's certainly not enough to save this place. I will say that I like the statue of the lucky old lady in the middle of town, even though it is kind of creepy and for good reason, and you can't really go wrong with the local chapel of the Divines either, but it is of course not unique to Bravil at all. I also like Bravil's city sigil, with its lovely symbol in brown and golden colors, but the fact that the castle gates open directly into the throne room, well, it does come across as the French would say, les incompetents. And I mean, Count Regulus doesn't exactly come across as the wisest count in the realm either.
I'm the Count, and you have no business talking to the Count, right? Good. All straightened out. Off with you then.
For all of these reasons, and the fact that it feels more like a pit stop on the way to Leyawiin, Bravil earns spot number 8 as the second worst city of them all. And speaking of Leyawiin, at spot number 7, we're gonna have to travel to it, the actual southernmost city in Cyrodiil. Thing is, Leyawiin isn't half bad actually, and the cities after it will for the most part be different shades of good from now on. But that doesn't mean it's great. Leyawiin is immediately a lot more colorful than Bravil, sure. In fact, it's arguably one of the more colorful of the cities here. I love the fact that there's trees everywhere, and importantly, that this is a city of buildings with color. Some of the houses are red, others yellow, and others still are orange, which provides Leyawiin a completely unique feeling. It makes everything a lot more homey and quaint, and I like that a lot. But sadly, it's all kind of brought down by the city's core layout. You see, Leyawiin is rather flat, removing a lot of potential for nice views. What's more is that the city is made up of rather wide streets, and without the people to fill them, it comes across as more empty and uncanny than most other cities in the game. It removes a lot of the immersion it otherwise would have given, and it makes it so I never feel quite at home here. Don't get me wrong, it's a beautiful city and it comes across as calm and peaceful, but it's just not entirely it. It's also kind of weird how warmongering the Countess is.
We all profit by your lawful pursuit of the unlawful, and we encourage you to attack, burn, loot, and destroy them wherever you can.
The Count himself has got an orc problem, and there's a fighter's guild Oompa Loompa here, but that's nice, I guess.
Don't be shy.
So yeah, Leyawiin, despite its unique color scheme, is neither here nor there. I can pretty much take it or leave it, which is why it ends up at number 7. Number 6 now, and we're entering more competitive territory, beginning with Cheydinhal. Cheydinhal is arguably the first city on the list which I'd call well planned out. Its buildings are rather iconic, with their purple pointy rooftops, its chapel is neatly placed in the middle of town, cozy bridges connect its two parts, and a beautiful river runs through the entire thing. It doesn't hurt that the mountains are close by either, or that some of its streets are rather tightly woven together, making it feel snuggly and intentional. It adds to the city's mystique that a broken down house is right by the chapel, one you have to unlock to enter, only to make it further inside and find a creepy door you can't venture further into unless you've done an unknown deed. On the other part of town, Cheydinhal Castle is arguably one of the better looking ones. It's not necessarily unique in layout, but it shows its beauty in decorations. There's lots of trees on the inside, adding to its beauty, which the city has quite a lot of. It's also a fairly good place if you are a fan of orcs. There's quite a few of them here, it seems. It also doesn't hurt that right outside the walls awaits a cute little pond with a shrine to the divines right by, a nice little spot to spend an afternoon if you're willing to just waste your time. You're gonna visit Leyawiin a ton, especially if you're doing the Dark Brotherhood quest, so it is a good thing that it's not too shabby, which lands it on spot number 6. At number 5, we find the city of Bruma. Now don't get me wrong, I actually love Bruma. It's Cyrodiil's northernmost city, and it's pretty obvious that we're nearing Skyrim here, seeing as it is almost constantly snowing. But more than that, the design of Bruma's houses speaks of a northern folk who perhaps don't get out much, except for when they do.
Skjorda, Nordwinds. We've got clothes and armor, and I've got a headache. So keep your voice down, please.
Please excuse us. We had a little drink up last night. Still a little muzzy.
I absolutely love how they're fairly modest looking, but with beautifully carved artworks wherever you look, if you know where to look for them. Which is right there, dude, like every house has got them. Anyway, I love Bruma's circular shape. It is a fairly small city after all, but it makes itself known exactly because of its uniqueness, both in architecture but also in shape. It doesn't try anything fancy, but instead relies on its own identity to draw the crowds. And you know, I really think it succeeds. The snow covers Bruma a big chunk of the time, and it makes it feel all the more special for it. But the city looks gorgeous even in plain old sunlight, especially when seen from above, where nearby Cloud Ruler Temple watches over the city. From up there, you can even see a glimpse of the Imperial city's white gold tower, which is never a sorry sight to me. In fact, if you move just a tiny smidge south of Bruma, you can spot the whole darn thing in all its beauty. In the late stages of the game's main story, Bruma becomes the site of one of the game's larger battles. A battle, by the way, which I hope to God is better represented in the remaster, but which still makes the city one of the game's most important ones. And for all of these reasons, Bruma rightfully deserves spot number 5 on this list. Spot number 4 now, and we're inching ever closer to the top. And we are of course looking at Anvil. Now listen up, because this is where my crisis of conscience comes in. I actually like Bruma more than Anvil. I find it to be cozier. But I cannot deny Anvil's inherent uniqueness, wildly so in fact, and its special design in Cyrodiil's mosaic of cities. You see, at first glance, Anvil might come across as fairly plain. Its streets and houses are unique, sure, with orange-colored rooftops reminiscent of perhaps a colonial-era Caribbean city. And much like Leyawiin, its streets are just a bit too wide for me to truly enjoy it here. Perhaps the graphics just weren't able to truly do it justice back in 2006, but I do respect the uniqueness nonetheless. Either way, Anvil's main attraction isn't actually the inner city, which by the way is walled in behind some beautifully golden forest just outside, where it's not uncommon to meet Maik the Liar. But no, exiting the main gates leads you to Anvil's port, where the city's castle rests on an island no less, and where we have a gorgeous lighthouse and a full dockyard with real-life galleons just waiting to be explored. It is a beautiful sight for sure, one that in the right light looks truly stunning. I love that what we're witnessing here is the actual open sea, and if the game had been even larger, you could just imagine taking one of these ships for a spin and sail off into the distance. It's just a gorgeous sight really. The ships, the lighthouse, the city walls, the cathedral inside, and the castle on the water. The castle, by the way, is one of the game's coolest, as it comes with its very own minor courtyard before the main hall, which might just be the prettiest one, almost giving me Dark Souls vibes before Dark Souls, as its walls are draped in what appears to be some sort of intricate, beautifully made white cloth. Anvil is not my favorite city in Cheydinhal, but it's certainly not too far off either, and with its completely unique look and unbeatable sunsets, it rightfully deserves spot number 4 on this list. We are in the top 3 now, and at number 3 we have the city of Chorrol. Now I'm actually surprising myself here, to be honest. Chorrol has to me always been a kind of calm and unassuming place, one that's a bit too comfortable and nothing truly special. But you know, visiting it again, and I finally got an entirely new look at it. Chorrol is at the same time both an open and cozy city. Enter the gates and you'll see a rather wide open space, a large statue filling your field of vision before moving forward. After a while, you'll reach a beautiful square inhabited by a large majestic oak, surrounded by various guilds and other mansions. And you might also find yourself in some intellectual conversation to boot. Move down the street again and look no further than towards the local chapel for an actual gorgeous sight. One long quaint street that just feels absolutely right. I love this view so much that it almost instantly made Chorrol for me. The city's castle is admittedly not much to write home about, but it at least has a nice little courtyard that actually looks realistic and something out of the medieval period, and I really appreciate that. What I appreciate even more is the beautiful skyline of the city as you make your way down from the castle again. It's not particularly obvious, but it is there, and when you see it, when you imagine it, there is little else like it. Toss in the ever so calm Wainen Priory on the city's southern edge, and you even have aspects of civilization surrounding the city, which is always a plus, and admittedly makes for some fun moments when you get the guard involved.
Help! You must help! They're killing everyone at Wainen Priory.
You are weak. The god you awaits me. I do not fear death.
Oh, hello.
All in all, Chorrol rightfully makes it to the bronzed spot number 3. For the much coveted silver spot at number 2, we have none other than Skingrad. Despite certainly being the greyest of the cities in all of Cheydinhal, I cannot help but love it all the same. You see, Skingrad is a tightly knit city. Its streets are small, so narrow that you might even feel a bit claustrophobic while venturing through them. But to me, that's what makes it so cool. No other city is like this, and it almost feels like Bethesda took inspiration from Skingrad when they made Solitude in Skyrim. It's just a nice, heavy, proper medieval city. I love the red maple trees by the city's chapel, the pointed towers littering its skyline, and the beautiful vineyards resting outside the city gates. I admittedly remember these vineyards as being a lot fuller and vibrant as a kid, but still, they do a decent job of giving life to Skingrad, and a bit more color where the city itself might lack it. The city is oddly enough divided in two, with bridges connecting their parts, but there's no water going through the lower area, which does look strange and almost makes me think that the devs might have planned for a river here or something, since there's never any proper traffic going through there anyway. But if you move through it and you walk to the city's northern edge, you'll spot the way to Skingrad Castle, a beautiful structure sitting high atop its very own hillside. You'll have to cross an ominous bridge to get there though, but the always lit flames makes the journey worth it every time. It is a gorgeous sight to behold when you see both the city and the castle side by side like this, and you can even see the worst city in the world, Kvatch, on the mountain in the distance. But it doesn't look that bad from here actually. In fact, it's pretty darn cool to look at. Turn around and you'll once again see the Imperial City's white gold tower peeking up from the treetops. Skingrad Castle offers by far the coolest courtyard, which absolutely dunks on both Anvil and Chorrol's offerings. Skingrad's is larger, more varied, and looks just beautiful with its arched walkway and hanging leaves, as if almost spat out of Kingdom Come Deliverance yet to be even conceived image. Skingrad houses not only a peculiar count for a count, but it also invites you to one of the most hilarious Dark Brotherhood quests ever. Oh, and it also features this guy, and you can never go wrong with a lunatic in Oblivion.
We can't talk here. Too public. Meet me behind the great chapel at midnight. Don't let anyone follow you. I'll make it worth your while.
For all of these reasons, Skingrad wins silver and spot number 2 for the best city in the game. For spot number 1, the undisputed white gold top dog, there can truly be none other than the Imperial City itself. It's quite unfair actually, I have to admit. Whereas every other city in this game is mostly just one thing, or indeed just one identity, the Imperial City is at once so many things. That's because the city itself is essentially 10 different cities inside of it, due to being made up of just as many unique districts. We have the ever-relevant Market District, where you can procure mostly anything you're looking for, the Talos Plaza District, which is a wealthy residential one with lots of housing and a beautiful dragon statue in the center, the Grand Temple District, featuring the Temple of the One, the Elven Gardens District, featuring, you guessed it, gardens for the various residential houses here, the beautiful and green Arboretum, the Arena District, where you'll come to fight to the death in gladiator battles, the Grand Arcane University District, where you get to do advanced magic if you're part of the Mages Guild, the Imperial City Prison connected to the city by a bridge, the entirely unique Waterfront District, which reminds us a bit of Anvil, but in a more big city environment, now also complete with less well-off shackings, and of course, the Green Emperor Way District in the center of it all, where the white gold tower awaits. The Imperial City is itself alike in that it's mostly a stone-based place, but it's still varied with lots of different sights to see, stores to visit, people to meet, quests to complete, and so much more. Like I said, it's almost unfair to the other cities because the Imperial City has clearly been given the most amount of love, but then again, it is the capital for a reason. And honestly, it's probably the coolest city in all of Elder Scrolls history if you ask me, and I cannot wait to see what shape it will take in the Oblivion Remaster if the rumors are true. As such, the Imperial City earns white gold and the top spot as the best city in the Elder Scrolls IV Oblivion, if for nothing else than sheer size, variety, impact on the game as a whole, and longevity. That was my ranking of the worst and best cities in Oblivion, but now it's your turn to let me know if you agree or disagree with me and tell me what your list looks like. And so, if you enjoyed what you saw and want to see more videos like this, make sure to leave a like on the video, a comment down below with your thoughts, and subscribe to the channel. It really means a lot. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers!